Joe, happy Thanksgiving, man.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah. How crazy is that? Thanks to the audience. Oh, look, Chris has popped in too. Like, we were just talking to the green room. Nowhere in the United States, now we got a little international flair this morning too, but nowhere in the United States is it later than 7:30 in the morning on a Thanksgiving and people are here. I guess if we're crazy enough to do it, they're like, well, we'll throw them a bone,
It's a great way to start the day, It's a good way to start the holiday.
I look forward to it. When we picked Thursday, we were forever burdened with the Thanksgiving conflict, and we've just embraced it.
I can't. Did we do a Thanksgiving show last year? I can't remember.
Yeah, we did.
We did.
Yeah.
You
if
went
we
back
didn't,
and
if we didn't, it's now fact that we did. I actually don't know. I don't remember. I really think that we did.
Yeah. It's a tough one for me. I gotta say, I gotta be honest. It's a tough one for me.
You're looking a little puffy this morning, Joe.
I know, I'm very puffy. You can hardly see my eyes.
What causes such reactions?
Well, like we don't do a Thanksgiving. We do the night before Thanksgiving. Like we don't do anything today. We just kind of chill out. But we have a party the night before, and we invite people to come over. We call it, it's Friendsgiving, basically. It's just, so, but we do all the traditional stuff. We do a turkey, we do a stuffing, mashed potatoes, all that stuff. And, some people, they chill out for a little bit. So I'm on a few hours of sleep. So bear with me. Thank you. Thanks, everybody, for coming and joining us. But I barely made it this morning.
That's the dedication to power through. You get here, you show up, you do what you got to do. Sleep can, what do the guys in the gym say? I'll sleep when I die. You could sleep when you die, Joe. Yeah, you could get really hopped up and you could sleep when you die, man. I got to ask you, I noticed a little hesitation, like maybe even a little embarrassment when you had to say the phrase Friendsgiving. Can we rename that? Like, there's got to be, like, did I pick up on that? Was there a little part of you going, this is the dumbest word I've ever said out loud?
I like the phrase.
You do?
Because most of it is most of it's friends, and yeah. But for some reason, I never really. I've watched the show Friends. And for some reason, did the term originate there? That's why I wouldn't want to use it.
Oh, I don't think so. I think it originated in some, YouTube influencer. I don't know. They were probably renovating a house and flipping it or something, and they were going to have. They're going to.
You really don't like this.
What is this? What's this like the? So, I really like Thanksgiving, which is good. Well, it kind of makes sense. I just feel like there could be a better name, and we could do the world a service if we came up with. I don't know. I'm just flying blind here, but that was my feeling. What's the thing that like the sassy girls that don't want to participate in Valentine's Day, and they're going to go out and they call it like Galentine's or some nonsense? That's what Friendsgiving reminds me of.
I don't. I think that's way off base.
Okay. All right. I'm just speaking out loud, just in a safe space between us two. I'm just part of my angst could be that I'm jealous I didn't get to go. You guys throw a good party. You guys do well when you throw a party.
It's funny. It was actually a little pared down. Actually, it's a well-oiled machine at this point. Okay. Chelsea and I, we get everything ready. Like yesterday, I think we finally hit a stride yesterday because we were ready real early, And then we were like, are we forgetting something? This seems too easy. It always seems like really frantic. They were running around and stuff like that. But it went fine. And actually, we didn't really go all out and invite a whole bunch of people. Like 2 years ago, we had like 70 people here, and it was like too much.
That's a lot
And
of
then,
turkey, man.
right? And then last year it was more like 50, and then last night it was about 30 people. So it was, I mean, it
30's
seemed much better. It's more
30's
manageable.
plenty though, man. Like, let's
Yes.
be honest. In your own home, they're using your
Yeah.
toilets. Like, that's plenty of people. You're good.
Well, I
You're
didn't
done.
even think of that, Adam. I mean, I don't want to think about that.
It's a fact. I mean, I'm sorry.
I gotta hose down the bathrooms now. Gee.
Yeah, you gotta, all that tryptophan residue, it's just gotta,
Yeah, so today's just basically we cleaned up real late last night, but
Oh, you
this
did?
morning, I guess. Yeah, but we still have a bunch to do yet today, and I
I
got
would think so.
a lot of sleeping to get done as well.
Right.
So
All right. So all joking aside, so what do you guys do on Thanksgiving? I know you got family in town there. You gonna do anything with the folks, the in-laws?
No, that's the beautiful thing is on Thanksgiving.
You're like, no, we do nothing.
We've done it. It's all done now.
Really?
And so what? Yeah, like Chelsea and I just chill out all day. Actually, so Raleigh has a job at the hospital, so she planned to work today. So she's going to work today because they need people, and she knew that she had Friendsgiving to go to.
She get the double? Does she get the overtime?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, that is always the hospitality thing, man.
Smart,
Screw
smart.
it. Party the day before. Go make your double time the day of the holiday, man.
I think that's what she's doing. Yeah, and then Aiden is going to go, I think, over to his girlfriend's house. So it's just going to be Chelsea and I, and we're going to maybe watch some football or something. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Okay. Now, I don't want to take this too far off the topic. By the way, you and Charlie, you put on a good show last week, man. That was a fun show when I had to dip out.
Oh yeah, that was fun. Charlie's a great guy.
I appreciate you guys.
He's great.
Yeah, you Jersey boys, all that good stuff, man. That was fun. Or Philly, it's a thin line between, as I learned, South Jersey and East Pennsylvania.
Yeah. Yeah, we had a blast. It was fun. It was good. The contest is, that's a great contest. And
15 minutes of lame.
Yeah, that's great.
It's pretty fun. It's going on now. Shout out to Chris. I think Chris is in the audience this morning. What'd you think of that, man? It's this whole just layers to this whole culture. I think that's become part of the culture. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and how there's a whole lot of people that have, tried out. I mean, to have 22, what is it? Wait, it's 2 a month, right? So to have 24,
somewhere in there, yeah.
That's a year. So is it the same people every year that
no, when you do it once, you're out. Yeah, you win or lose, you're out. You're done. You gotta. I don't want to speak for Chris. I don't think there's ever been somebody.
There's no repeats, really.
You don't get to run twice, no, and you don't get to defend your championship either. This is about new lame dummies. Like once you can only be new and lame for so long, and then you're not new and lame anymore.
I mean, it's great. It's great for the community. It's fantastic. You get to know people. It's awesome. Let's see. Yeah. We got this from Chris there.
Oh, whoops! Yeah, I undid it. There we go. Yeah, it's a very limited. It's a limited, exclusive club, man. You gotta, it's just a special society there.
Yeah.
So,
how about you, Adam? What do you do for Thanksgiving?
Well, so I'm in Minnesota now, and I really love Thanksgiving. I've always loved Thanksgiving. Both philosophically, I think it's important to give thanks, and just growing up, childhood memories. So when I was growing up, my parents were divorced, and no deep scars there. That was fine. No problem. But I always did, not always, but generally I did Thanksgiving with my dad, and then I did Christmas with my mom's family. And
Okay.
that sounds pretty easy and reasonable, but my dad lived in Jacksonville, Florida. My mom lived up in Maine at the time. And so there were stark like compartments of these family memories, and they did not overlap. There was no like question of where what memory took place, you know? And so Thanksgiving, my dad's family's from South Georgia. And so we'd always have a good Southern, South Georgia flair. We'd either be in Valdosta, or then his sister moved to Panama City. And I mean, I'm 44 now. I bet 35 of my years on this planet on Thanksgiving I've spent at his at my aunt's house, his sister's house.
Okay.
And,
Yeah.
so we have just some really good memories there, and a lot of the people in our family play music or love music. So we would traditionally eat, have the big feast, like you say, have 20, 30, more than 20, 30, 40 people over. And then 6 or 8 of us would play music, put on the football games, and we just jam at pretty good volume. I got to say, there's something to jamming. Like, I'm not talking just play 4 chords on an acoustic guitar. Like we would jam, and
Yeah.
somebody else in the family would say, "Oh, you did this song, last year. I enjoyed it. Could you do that?" And we would figure it out and just have a fun time playing.
That sounds like a blast. Sounds like a blast. It's great.
It is, and I miss that. So I'm not doing that this year. So I'll miss that this year.
Yeah.
But I'm in Minnesota. Kelly's family is here. We are going to her folks' place in a metropolis called Preston, down near Snake X, down near Burt in southern Minnesota. And it's a small town. And as I understand it, there'll be about 25 family members there, many of them with kids, after 15 years, I'm starting to get to know the cousins and the children of the cousins. And it's hard for me to keep track of. And Kelly also has parents that are divorced and remarried. So there's the parents, and there's the sort of the step family, and nobody calls anybody step anything. It's just family, So that's what I don't know what their traditions are. I have no idea what we're going to get into. Very Scandinavian roots. I would say, I should know. I'm going to really mess this up. This is going to be embarrassing. I think Norwegian, maybe Swedish roots. Yeah. Anyway, very Scandinavian roots. So we'll have some like lefse and flatbread. I don't think there'll be any lutefisk there. They'll keep it a little more American on the Thanksgiving tradition, But some of those traditions will be there. And then, of course, we'll watch the ball game and have the universal truths of some beers and, ball games and whatnot.
Where were you last Thanksgiving?
Here at the house. We did the first Thanksgiving in the new house.
Yeah, okay.
In the new house. I do enjoy cooking. I enjoy a big feast, and it genuinely brings me joy, and I think it brings some happiness. And to me, that's what Thanksgiving's about. So we had it here at the house. We had the family here in Minnesota up to the house. But this year, when it's weird to use the word elders, but when the family patriarch and matriarch want to, when they beckon you to the house for the you don't fight him. You don't go, no, we're doing it here.
Right.
And I think that brings them joy too. I said at one point this week, I was like, Diane's her stepmother. I said, that's going to make Diane very happy to have everybody there. And Kelly just smiled and nodded. She said, yeah, it will. So that's what we do. So I do have one memory too. My dad and I, as far as like going now looking back down memory lane, my dad and I always generally traveled to his sister's place on Thanksgiving. Yeah. And there is a classic. It's hard to call it rock and roll, but it's in the sort of the canon of rock and roll, I suppose. There's a classic story that takes place on Thanksgiving Day, and it's called Alice's Restaurant by Arlo Guthrie. And I don't know if anybody's heard this, and you got to buckle in. If it's about 18 minutes saga of a song, but it's pretty hilarious, and it's actually a good. There's pretty deep, like you could, like if we wanted to get academic on it, you could pick it apart as like a satire protest of the American judicial system and blah, 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 good 60s subtle protest kind of thing. But it all happens on Thanksgiving Day. And he sings about Alice's Restaurant. So if you want a little joy, you could try out something new. You could go to YouTube, click on Alice's Restaurant. But every one of these road trips we would travel on, we would set aside a little time to listen to Alice's Restaurant. We had the old Maxell tapes, on the tape deck. You get it queued up, on the road trip where you got your box of like 12 tapes that you're going to unzip and open up. And we would pop in Alice's Restaurant on the road trip on the Thanksgiving road trip.
Great. And it was always like that was one of the traditions. It's funny, like the things that become traditions after a while. They just seem to happen. And then
I could damn near recite all 18 minutes of Alice's Restaurant right now. It's great, man.
It's funny you spend it as Thanksgiving with your dad. That's what I did too. So my parents divorced, and it was the same thing. Thanksgiving with my dad and Christmas with my mom.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
but my dad was not a cook, so.
Oh, neither is mine. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, the tradition really became for a few years there. We were going out. We would find a spot that was open, and we'd go to a Thanksgiving dinner together. So we had some, interesting.
Did you? Was it with you and your siblings, or was it just you and dad, mano a mano?
No, it was me and my siblings. I have an older brother, older sister, and so the four of us. It was usually the four of us would go somewhere, and maybe we'd hang out with them afterwards. Now that was just a few years, and then he got married, and then there was more of like a proper Thanksgiving, that
like a family feel.
Yeah. But I mean, our tradition once we were older was Thanksgiving Eve, coming back into town and hitting the bars and seeing people that you used to know and stuff like that.
It's like the partiest night. I remember in my days in hospitality, which aren't that far removed, we would just get absolutely crushed on the Wednesday night of Thanksgiving, absolutely destroyed. Yeah. And then at destination resorts, nobody's cooking Thanksgiving dinner. So we got to feed them. I mean, we would feed, man. I remember at the PGA Tour, TPC Sawgrass, I mean, we would feed nearly 2,000 people on Thanksgiving. We would do we'd do 4 or 5 settings. So start at 11 and every hour and a half through 7:30. I mean, what kind of crazy fools eat Thanksgiving dinner at 7:30? We should be done by then. So we're just getting pummeled. And then at the property there in North Carolina, it was a smaller scale, but we're still feeding 450, and that was over 2 or 3 seatings. And so for a few years, one of the things I would do, and actually I really missed it. This is a real example of psychotic, what's it called when somebody captures you and then you start feeling empathy for your captor?
What is that?
Stockholm syndrome. Is that the one?
Syndrome. That's right. Yeah. That's
so right. Maybe this sounds like Stockholm syndrome, but I really missed this. I would get we would just get absolutely rocked on Wednesday night before. The place is a disaster. The team is just get run over. It doesn't matter how well you staff. You're just going to get absolutely just pummeled from people at the door wanting to get in, blah, blah, blah. Drunks at the bar, they're drinking all night. You're trying to kick them out so you can flip the room because you got to get there in the morning. I don't know if you know, Joe, turkeys take a little time to cook, especially if you got to, if you need literally 45 turkeys, who's got oven space for 45 turkeys? Think
Right.
about it.
Yeah.
There's some serious logistics that go into that.
Yeah. How did you handle that? I mean, are you roasting throughout the night or what?
Yeah, so that's the thing. So our chefs, not only are we getting pummeled Wednesday night, starting at about 10 o'clock, shifts of crews come in and they're cooking turkeys overnight. Like, the fact is, in business, like, I'm sure people go, well, if you got enough money, you just buy all the ovens that you need. Yeah, what do you do with them the other 364
Right.
days of
Yeah.
the year? And you
Yeah.
don't.
You don't do that. Yeah.
The other thing is, where do you store all these turkeys? That takes up a lot of walk-in space. So what you do is you get a little bit ahead or a lot ahead, but then you're still cooking all through the day. So you want your last turkey to hit the buffet like an hour before the whole shindig closes. So we got turkeys coming out of the oven from like 1:30, 2 in the morning, all the way till 2 in the
Wow.
afternoon. You see what I mean?
Right.
And
Yeah.
so, and chefs take real pride in this crazy stuff. Like, you'd think they're like army guys getting ready for battle. They're like, no, I haven't slept in a couple days, so I could get to sleep at 4:30 this afternoon, and I'll be up at 11 at night, and I'll report at midnight. Well, partially because of my own, like, want to make sure that they're doing all right and make sure that we're running out front. I would get up around 2:30 or 3, and I'd roll in at about 3 o'clock. We would have and that's when, like, the exec chef was there, the sous chef was there. That's when all the Venn diagrams coalesced in the middle there, as far as the leadership. But those were the guys that I'd worked I had worked with for decades, and some of those guys came from Jacksonville with me to North Carolina, and the roots run deep. And we would just clear out 20, 30 minutes of time. We'd have coffee. For whatever reason, they all called me boss. I never needed them to call me boss, and I call them all chef. And we would have coffee and breakfast, just in knowing the looming chaos was coming. Nothing but turkeys around us, but only the three of us in this big empty building at 3 a.m. We'd have coffee and breakfast. We'd get the show rolling, and by 11:30 noon, I'm done. I go home and hand it off to the next person, and same with the chefs. So that stuff. Oh man, really? That's a good story.
Yeah, I know. I saw that. That's really cool.
So I do miss that chaos. I miss a little bit of like after this show this morning, I'm gonna text my old chefs, no matter where they're at, what industry they're in now cooking. I mean,
that's really nice.
Yeah, I miss you guys, and they'd make fun of me in my suit and my apron, and I'd give them shit. They'd be like, we don't need you here. You're gonna actually cook a turkey, and like. I'm like, yeah, I'll get to work. They're like, stay the hell out of the kitchen, like stay out front kind of deal. Get on with your part of the show. Yeah. So Chris says, growing up in the Bronx, the pizza shops in the neighborhood would open and cook all the turkeys in the neighborhood for free. That's a cool story.
Yeah, I mean, the space that they had that's pretty good.
Well, I was going to say, you would be amazed at all the ways that we sort of hack into cooking turkey. So you got your traditional convection oven, you got your deep fried turkey, but to your point and Chris's point, a pizza oven, there's a lot of space in there. So we had chefs that were like, all right, we're going to start them here. We'll rotate them into the pizza oven. We'll finish them off there, because you could get them crispy there or whatever, So it was like, use every resource. Every oven had turkeys in it, like say for like 12, 14 hours.
Yeah. We had a 33-pound turkey yesterday.
Oh my God.
And it's almost all gone.
How long did it take you to cook that thing?
So I got worried, and usually we stuff the turkey with stuffing. Usually we do that. But we got worried because when it takes longer when you stuff the turkey for it to be done.
That's right. And yeah, the thermodynamics. Yeah, you got more mass that's got to get up to temp.
So Chelsea, the night before, like in the middle of the night, I think she woke up and was like, "How long do we need?
This turkey's not going to make it.
It's not going to be ready." So we got up in the morning. I put it in at like 9 a.m. and it wasn't like. We weren't going to have people there until like 6:30 in the evening. So It was. I feel as though we kind of overdid it, though. It was a little less juicy. It was in the oven for a long time. I think we kind of overdid it, but it still was okay.
I mean, turkey at best is okay. Let's be honest. When do we really eat it? Otherwise, like it's not really the meat that we're like, hell yeah, I'm a turkey guy. Like maybe, no offense if people are. It's a very useful, very practical bird, but I don't.
One of my friends came over and was like, "This is my favorite meal. I love turkey so much. I would just eat turkey all the time if it was acceptable in my house."
You're like very suspicious. So, like you should be aware of that person. Yeah, like now you can't.
I asked him to leave. Really?
Yeah, like all right, look, pal, get out. This is not about. That might be about all the other dishes. I think that's why the other dishes are so good. Like, is because like it's got to outdo the mediocrity of the universal mediocrity of turkey,
So Aiden is 16 and he's a big
a big
guy.
dude, yeah,
and he eats so much,
right?
And yeah, he actually, when he got up to the line, that we had like a buffet, yeah, and so he gets up to the line and he skipped the turkey and he just got. He got all the sides and everything, and then he was like, "I'll just circle back to see like how much room is left. Then that's how much turkey I'm gonna."
Yeah, he's like, "Yeah, that bird's for suckers right there." All of you. Yeah, he's smart. Very, very good kid. Now, do you brine the turkey?
No, I don't do anything like that.
If you're willing to commit to the nonsense of Friendsgiving, you should brine your turkey, man. It makes a big difference. It'll make it juicy. It's going to be forgiving if you send it a little too far. I can help you out with it, man. I can.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I'll take it. How is it? You let it sit in something for how long?
Yeah. Well, okay. Look, all right. I'm going to bring a little value to the show this morning. I thought we were just going to reminisce, but you've drug it out of me. We're going to bring a little value to the show here. Yeah, you want to do it's really easy. You need to do equal parts of salt and brown sugar, and you can raise it up. You can't do too much. You're not going to do too little. And believe it or not, the salt and the sugar are not about the flavor. They actually cause a chemical reaction that causes some sort of liquid to bond to something. I don't know. It's delicious at the end though, and it's juicy. So yeah. The salt and the sugar, you can't be like, oh, I need more salt or I need less sugar. It's equal parts salt and sugar. The brown sugar is going to help with a little color and flavor. You're going to do that, okay? Mix that in water, and you want kind of a good, almost tea-like color, okay? That's the color you're going for. As long as you're doing equal salt and sugar, you're going to be good. Get it all dissolved. Then you need a bin big enough. So we call them Lexans in the restaurants. But you need a bin big enough. You're going to leave it in that bin. You could do a 5-gallon bucket. Now, not with a 33-pound turkey. I don't know where you're going to have to get a big bin for that. Okay.
Yeah.
Put it in there.
We got a big cooler. Actually, that's how we thawed the turkey.
Okay. You put it in the cooler?
We put it in the cooler, put water. We had to switch out the water every once in a while, make sure.
Yeah, that's full of salmonella. Okay.
Yeah.
So there you go. Put it in your cooler, make your brine in the cooler, equal parts salt and sugar. That's the chemical part of it. The chefing part of it, you could just throw in rosemary. You don't even have to chop it. That's the beauty of this too. Just throw all this stuff in the water. You can throw some rosemary in there, throw your peppercorns in there. I think I might put thyme, but really that's it. Don't even crack the peppercorns. Just throw all the peppercorns, just all of it right in there. And, you let it set for 24 hours. And then you bake it and then carry on as usual. That's it.
Yeah. Now, it sounds easy.
Yeah, to your point, the problem is the food safety part of it. In Minnesota, the garage right now this time of year is about 29 degrees. So it's plenty.
So it stays cold enough.
Yeah, under 40 degrees, you just wrap it in saran wrap, put your bin out in the garage, and you're all set. Same.
So what would you do? Okay, so we got up to 75, 80 each day this week.
Well, you want to use your cooler, and then I would make your brine, and then I would make I would put ice on top, and I check every couple hours, and if the ice is melted, you need to re-up it, but the cooler's going to help you with that. So really what you're aiming for, the food danger zone is from 40 degrees to 140 degrees. That's where bacteria thrives. So you want to be
Okay.
under 40 or over 140 is where you want
Okay.
to be with your hot food hot, cold food cold.
Okay. All right. That's good. Yeah, maybe I'll
Yeah.
try it next year. If we do it next year. Every year we're kind of like, should we do this again or shouldn't we? I
Yeah.
don't know.
Well,
One year we went, actually the first year I met Chelsea, we did a one on a cruise
oh, wow.
over Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And that was really fun. That was fantastic.
Yeah, just let everybody else handle everything.
Everybody
Get
else.
away. Yeah, drink some Mai Tais and,
Yeah.
yeah, that's cool.
So eventually, so I was telling you, so I would go with my dad, and eventually he got remarried, and and we went, but we still like I think the first year that he was with this woman who became my stepmother,
Right.
A fantastic lady,
This woman,
awesome. Yeah, I felt bad for saying this.
No, I know. I'm really ribbing you here. That's
but
all
I'm
right.
just trying to tell the story.
Yes.
So she brings her son. She has 3 kids, and she brings one of her sons comes to this, and we go out to a place to get Thanksgiving dinner, and we're there the whole time, and for some reason, and my brother is there, and my sister, and me, my dad, and Kathy, and then her son, and we have this meal, and my brother and sister and I all get into a car together, and my brother goes, we were like, yeah, that was a great meal, the small talk, like a little debrief, and then my brother said, "Who is that extra guy?" And he was referring to my stepmother's son, my soon-to-be stepmother.
Oh no! Yeah,
like he had stayed the whole meal, spoke to everybody,
right.
And then he was like, "Who is that extra guy?
Who's the extra guy?" Well, Freddie, this is your new brother. You're gonna say, you're gonna play nicely now.
Right, exactly. There's like a bunch of stories just like that where and then you go, and then they would have my dad would have the Thanksgiving dinner at his house eventually, and people would come over and stuff. And I remember one year, like it just took so long for the turkey to be done.
Right. Yeah.
And so
if you get behind, you can't catch up.
Yeah. And it was so we waited and waited and waited. And my brother and sister, we were all just like we were home based to each other, so you'd go out and you'd talk to people at the party or whatever, and then you'd reconvene with each other.
The safe spot. I mean? Yeah. When things get weird. Yeah. Right. Okay.
Right. And one year, and this was the time that was taking really long. We like Ed disappeared. My brother disappeared, and my sister and I are like, "Oh, what happened? We got to go find him, whatever." We go outside, and he's at his car eating Snickers bars at his car. Because he had gotten so hungry waiting for the turkey. And he knew he had Snickers in his car. So
that's like the commercials where they're like, "You want to get away?" Like that. You just did their homework for them, where you can just be like, "Look, here's the storyline, guys. The turkey's taking too long." And
we come up behind him, and he's like trying to hide that he's eating Snickers by his car. And we go, "Ed," and he turns around and he goes, "What are they teasing us with this food? This is ridiculous." He's so just a bunch of stories like that. It's really fun to think about him and reminisce a little bit.
Well, like the part, like we all wish, nobody wishes, well, maybe some people wish for meltdowns. Like nobody wishes for meltdowns or trouble, but like there's always the family, like shenanigans.
Yeah.
Somebody's the black sheep, or somebody voted for somebody that they didn't want to, or somebody brings up, there's an old guy that says maybe a word that he doesn't really mean, but it was a little more of the parlance of his time and not our time. And everybody's like, yeah, okay. But it's the perfect time, because then like you drive home and you leave, like you're there just long enough to scrape all those surfaces, and then you got to get out of there, Hey, speaking of thanks, before we forget, we should give a little thanks to some people that make our lives pretty good throughout the year. How about that, huh?
Yes.
So, guys, if you do use frozen rodents, I think you should use Cold-Blooded Cafe and their frozen rodents. But you should do it even more now, and save that promo code for the next time. Tomorrow, I think starting last night at midnight. But anyway, roundabout right now, you can go to Cold-Blooded Cafe. They're running their biggest sale of the year. I believe it's 40% off. Check their website or their Instagram page for full details. But I absolutely use their product. I used it before I partnered with them. I probably still partner with them. 2 years running now. So go check it out. And then after you get the deal on the Black Friday, then you can use the promo code Proper11. You're going to get 11% off of your order. To our friends at Husbandry Pro up north in Canada, they have a different Thanksgiving day. I would wish them happy Thanksgiving. They already did. They beat us to it. They already got their Thanksgiving out of the way. But I am thankful for Husbandry Pro. Manage your collection, manage all your data, manage your processes and your systems, your checklists, your timing, your breeding, all of that, all in one place. Husbandry Pro. And you can use the promo code PRoyals60 for 60 free days. Or if you go to properroyals.com, which is powered by Husbandry Pro, you will see a banner there that you can click on and get that same deal. No credit card needed. You're just going to log in and get to work and start seeing the benefit of having organization. And slowly but surely, all your spreadsheets go away, all those things where you're like, where did I put those notes? And you're like, I got it right here. It's right there. Keith at Creative Genetics, he and I, over the past year, we worked on a breeding project together. We got some cleonizanthic ingredients. If you're into that, I even got some triple het females, cleonizanthic hypo. Give me a call if you're interested in checking those out. But Keith and I put those together on created those from the breeding project. Our snakes created them that we introduced to each other. And also Keith has speaking of Black Friday, he's got a big sale going on right now. If you check out Creative Genetics, I know he's got some super gravel clown stuff. I know that he hit some highway clown stuff, and he's got stranger stuff from years past and a whole lot of single, double, and triple het combos as well. Go see him. Last but not least is Charlie from Reagan Renee Royal Pythons. Joe, a little bit of trivia. Do you know the last time when you needed a day off and you couldn't make the show, do you know who guest hosts with me?
Charlie?
It was Charlie. Charlie is our guy.
Okay.
He's our guy. He's our go-to fill-in, reliable Johnny on the spot. And he's the same way with his animals and his business. So check out Reagan Renee Royal Pythons. Look, man, I didn't name this company. This is his choice to have 4 words there. Reagan Renee Royal Pythons. And Charlie's a great guy. His company's namesake, his daughter Reagan, is wonderful as well. Go check them out. And if you choose,
she was on the show last week.
Oh, I know, man. She slays it with dad jokes too. I don't know if you got in that. You missed a really great opportunity, man. She will make you cry with her dad jokes, both in shame and laughter, because she's gonna win and make you laugh. Like, it's wonderful, man.
That's great.
And he is in the 15 Minutes of Lame competition. I don't endorse any specific candidates, but it doesn't hurt that Charlie pays a little couple bills a month here. Not the actual dollar amount, like I send him a bill and he pays them for a little logo there. But check out his Morph Market, high caliber breeder, and he's got great stuff that I absolutely endorse, and I don't trust the show to just anybody. So audience, thank you. Holy cow. Like, I'm still blown away. Sometimes the numbers are up, sometimes the numbers are down, and that doesn't bother me. I love the interaction. I love hanging out. And Joe, I'm thankful for you. I get to start my Thursdays. We keep our friendship rolling. You know, I get this text from Chelsea, and she's like, Joe told me this. I would have thought maybe I would have heard it from you first. And I was like, well, you know, there's only so much communication I can do all around, you know?
Yeah, there was a conversation this past week. I had a friend in town from Philadelphia. He came to visit, and we were talking. And he's become real friendly with Chelsea just over the years, and the same way that I've become friendly with you. And so she was talking, and I was like, "Oh," and so I.
Did you guys officially like trade friends? Are you like, all right, Adam will be mine now, and this guy will be yours?
So, we were all the three of us were in a conversation, and I turned to my friend Lewis, and I said, I was going to tell a story about you, and I said, my friend Adam is blah blah blah, and Chelsea took it. Chelsea was like, your friend Adam?
Oh yeah, hold the boat.
She was like, at least say our friend Adam. But I was telling him about your ventures into ball pythons, but also now car washes.
I was there last night while the rest of the world was partying and getting drunk. I was at the car wash taking measurements, drawing up blueprints for how I want this thing to go. Hanging out with some HVAC contractors in the car wash last night. Yeah.
So where are we in this story?
The due diligence / inspection period, every state has a little bit of a different laws on real estate, but Minnesota, whatever the agreed upon period is, you can back out for any reason or no reason, get all your money back. And I don't think that's technically how the law reads, but it's easier for them to just give you your money back than to try and keep it. So the practicality is that you get that agreed upon time span where if you're not into it anymore, you just walk away with any reason or no reason, no obligation. So that expires for me on Friday, and a couple guys that are helping me out a little bit and have expertise. For whatever reason, last night after work was when they could meet. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'll be there, man. And so anyhow, the inspection period ends on Friday, which of course I'm not going to go inspect it today. And Lord knows tomorrow I'm not going to be productive. So it really was last night was the final thing. Obviously Kelly and I'll discuss it and make sure that we're totally sure on it. Otherwise, Monday morning, I'll call the realtor, tell him to set up closing, and we should close within, I would venture to say in 10 days, I'll own that car wash.
It's incredible. Is it active right now?
I was amazed. Yeah. I'm at the thing last night. And I mean, I think I was there for an hour. There was no less than 7 people that came and went.
Wow. Really?
I was like, don't you have like parties to get to? Aren't you traveling? Don't you, like of all the things I would list that I do the night before Thanksgiving, going to a manual car wash is not one of them, but God bless them, man. They were just, keeping their, keeping their rides fresh or whatever, I guess. I don't know, man.
That's great. That's really exciting. I'm excited.
It's a weird, it doesn't, like a lot of people, it doesn't seem real. Like it literally doesn't seem real. And I am excited about it, but I'm not like giddy. I'm just like, this is all right. This is weird, but here's just another chapter in Adam's life. It wasn't enough to have pythons in the basement. Now we're going to go buy a car wash. Like, when does it end, Adam?
Do you have moments where all of a sudden you are genuinely thankful for something? Not something specific, but like it just, you just feel like thankful to exist.
Yeah, I do. I actually seek out those times. I don't ever want to like over dramatize things. There are people that suffer with clinical depression. There are people that have it way worse than I do, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But I had my own little like mental pretty rough patch, and I try and really focus on that and acknowledge that, knowing myself, I can land in a dark place unnecessarily. And I do have these fits and starts and fits of almost like terror or panic, where I have to say, what are you worried about? Everything is actually fine.
Yeah.
And going through some gratitude and things that I'm thankful for is really how I get out of those funks, and how I make it both physically calms me down, like the physical anxiety that I get, it physically calms me down, but it mentally reassures me. And it not just like gets me back to level, it like actually makes me very happy. And I didn't have a particularly negative response, but I did have a little anxiety. I got home from the car wash and I'm like,
sure, yeah, this
is real money. It's a whole lot of real money. And what are you doing here, Adam? This is about to get real. Like yeah. It's up till now, you're just playing business and playing car wash. You're about to, if you go through with this, you're going to be doing it. You know?
Sure. Yeah.
It's way easier just to talk about on a podcast than to actually have to go do it. And Joe, you teed it up. I gotta tell you, I wanted to figure out how I could work this in. It does have to do with thanks, but it doesn't have to do with the holiday of Thanksgiving. But there is I have an uncle I've talked about on the show before that I really look up to and really respect, and I really enjoy. He's a pretty successful guy, but in a hardworking way. He's an electrician and became an industrial commercial electrician, and he's got really cool guitars and old gear, and he's fun. And he's he's given a little uncle philosopher, insight. I can very clearly remember him telling me that the very best buzz that somebody can experience is a shot of tequila, a Corona, and a joint, if it's legal and you're of age, of course. And I don't know if it's the best buzz, but it's a buzz. Let me tell you that. Like, that'll get you where you're going, that combo. So anyway, I brought him up before because one time I said, when I was in my early 20s, I said, I got really lucky. I landed this job. And like, he got really mad. Like, he stopped me and he was like, and he just looked at me. He said, Adam, luck has nothing to do with it. If you think what you're doing is lucky, you're wrong. You're making this stuff happen. And that has always stuck with me. But at some point, he's also a bit of a what was Leonardo da Vinci, the guy that knows a little bit about everything? What do you call that guy? Renaissance man.
Renaissance man.
And he, when Charlie was born, he got me a framed picture of a poem by Rudyard Kipling. And the name of the poem is called If. And I'm not going to read you the whole poem. But I think everybody should go check it out. It's easy to remember. Just Google If poem. It starts off and it says, if you could keep your head when all about you, others are losing theirs and blaming it on you. If you could trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too. So if you could push them out, but listen to them when you need to. If you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being lied about but not choose to deal in lies, or being hated and don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good nor talk too wise. And it carries on a bit, and at the end it said, yours is the earth and everything in it. And he got me that frame picture to hang above Charlie's crib. And yeah, and I read that a lot, and I like that poem a lot, and it makes me happy to think about my Uncle Jim, who's doing fine. He's still in this world. But there's a lot of truth in there. If you could just keep your head when the world's going crazy, if you can listen a little bit, even the doubters, there's a little bit of truth in what they say sometimes. If you can deal with the people's lies, but not succumb to participating at that level, you get through it. And so even in the craziest times, I just tell myself, and there's a line in there that calls success and failure fleeting imposters. Those are both imposters. Nothing is as good and nothing is as horrible as it seems.
Yeah.
Don't get fooled by those two imposters. Keep your head. And that's
So did you?
And I'm very thankful for that. That brings me just massive gratitude and thanks.
So did you read that poem last night when you got home? And you were like,
I did. That's why I had it on my phone. I was like, I got to figure out how to work this into the show somehow tomorrow.
Wow.
Yeah. Yes, I did. I did read that.
There was a moment last night that I was really thankful. And it was, so I go around and I invite all of our neighbors to come. And for the past 2 years, only one neighbor has come, and it's this man across the street.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Let me ask you this: are you generally, like, I'm sure you're like not the neighbor that they hate, but like, do you hang out with the neighbors? Do you know them ever?
Not really. No,
Right, so
they know me as the guy who waves at everybody.
Right, but that's it. Yeah. So it's a really kind, outgoing gesture. This day and age, not many strangers reach out to strangers.
I feel there's a little danger walking up to somebody's door these days too.
Right.
I feel uncertain about it when I do it, but I mean, at this point they know me. And it's just the neighbors like right immediately around. And he's my favorite neighbor. He's across the street. He's just such a friendly guy, him and his wife. And he told me, like, I didn't really know much of his backstory. And turns out he's from Haiti. And he immigrated, he moved to New Jersey in like 71.
Oh, wow. Long time ago.
And he was there 71. He worked for a company. Then he owned his own clothing store for a little bit. Then in 80, he stayed until 89. Then he moved and he just told his whole life, you know. I was asking him questions because I'm really curious about that stuff. I love hearing people's stories there was this moment after he told me all of that where I was like, he asked me a little bit, and I told him, oh, I lived in Chicago and Philadelphia and New York City. We're really connected on New York City. And so it was just this weird moment that I was just like, well, I cannot believe that this person is sitting in my living room, you know, and we're having this conversation and all of the different things that we've done throughout our lives and how completely different our lives are.
Yeah.
And how completely different his journey is from mine. And he's much older than me too, but we end up one day in our lives sitting together on a couch. And all that whole journey that we took just culminates in that moment,
right?
And that connection. And I was like, I was just stunned that this guy was sitting there with me.
Yeah.
And I felt so like, I don't know if blessed is the right word. And certainly it's not lucky. But I just felt really
sometimes it's lucky. Yeah.
Like honored, maybe.
Yeah.
Honored to have that kind of connection with somebody who is so different from me. Went through so many different things in a different time period, different skin color, you know, different,
totally different experience. Yeah. Different hurdles, different challenges, everything.
And I was just like, I was so grateful. It was such a moment of, and I thought, this is exactly why we do this. This is why we do this. All of that crap that we put together, and we get up and we get the turkey together and we worry about the turkey and the food and everything. Sitting there with him, coming together like that. That's why we do all of that. And it was great. It was fantastic.
I appreciate you sharing that. And I think it's a good, like, I think it's a good goal. Like it's a perfect example. Like we always hear about the phrase "live in the moment." I don't really know what the hell that means, but that's a great example of like enjoying just the moment. I was at a concert one time, and I think it was a guy called Frank Turner, but I'm not 100% sure. But it struck me. I guess it didn't strike me enough because I don't remember who it is, but the context of it struck me. And at first, I thought, man, that is some BS nonsense. And I thought about it, and I was like, actually, this dude, this is amazing. And he says, think about how unlikely the celestial universal odds are that all of us are right here, right now, in this place together, in this moment. From being the one chosen sperm that gets in, to surviving childbirth, to surviving jumping out of tree houses and rolling down hills and running across train tracks and drinking our faces off in college and making bad decisions and not getting killed by cholera or war or anything else. And we're here in this place. We could have gone anywhere else, but we all chose to come here tonight. And he's like, you know, let's have a good effing show or whatever, you know, everybody gets hyped up. But I got thinking, I was like, the odds of anything ever happening and us making it to that moment are so what's the word? Infinitesimal. Is that how you say it? I've seen it written. Is that the right word? It's so infinitely small. Yeah. So I like that sometimes too, where like sometimes when I'm like, what am I doing? I'm just a cog in a machine cranking through, you know, the sun comes up, the sun goes down. And there are times where I'm like, I'm standing in this car wash right now on Wednesday night before Thanksgiving. Do you know the odds that this could possibly be happening to me? I better take this opportunity. You know, I think about nonsense like that too.
It makes me immediately happy. It draws me out of my own ego.
Yeah.
And it makes me go, wow. I mean, even if I were to look back and see, oh, I failed there, I failed here, whatever. No, we're sitting here. Adam, I met you 12 years ago, right? 12 years
Maybe
ago,
more, somewhere there, yeah.
I mean, to think when we met that I would be on Thanksgiving morning on a podcast about snakes. That's crazy.
Didn't have that on your bingo card, did you?
No, but everything, all of those little meetings, all of those little times that we got together, that we talked and we had these kinds of conversations, all of those different times led us to this moment.
There it is.
And that makes me immediately happy.
Yeah, me too. I got, we all got to get on to Thanksgiving and fun and holidays, but I put together a little list of 5 things that people could do to stay sane on Thanksgiving when things inevitably get weird.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
With the family. So I thought I'd run those down real quick. In reverse order, number 5, if you haven't experienced them, do yourself a favor and Google a band on YouTube called the Interrupters. They're a really lovely blend of power pop, really strong instrumentals. They have this little punk thing going, but they have these little 2-3 minute ditties that they're real tight on, and they're a great band. And like everybody takes them out to open. When I saw Green Day, they were the opening act. They tour with the.
You mean that Green Day, huh?
That very Green Day, yeah. At the very show you and I saw Green Day at. Before Weezer, before Fall Out Boy, the Interrupters were on the bill.
Really?
They're everywhere. They pop up everywhere. They're a hardworking band, and rightly so. They're good. So go see them. They're fun.
Interrupters.
The Interrupters. I haven't seen this, so I can't personally vouch for it, but I'm so intrigued. I'm going to make time to watch a movie, Joe. Can you imagine me sitting still? I'm so intrigued. I looked up lists of like the top rated, like audience rated, not critic reviewed, all that.
That's good.
If I don't even have time to make this a whole, if I told you this segment, I will just tell you, minus one stickler of a vote, the highest rated film on Rotten Tomatoes is right up there with like Goodfellas, Godfather 2, Shawshank Redemption, right in the mix, and above some of those is Paddington 2. Not Paddington, Paddington 2.
The sequel. Whoa.
The sequel. It's apparently incredibly insightful. And I even asked my AI chatbot, I was like, is this like a nonsense thing where people are like, let's just overrate Paddington 2 so people won't say it?
Yeah. Right.
And it says, no, it's genuinely seen by kids and adults as insightful and touching, an incredible story and incredibly portrayed. And I was like, that sounds like a Thanksgiving thing when I just need to get away and have an excuse to be like, let's watch Paddington 2. Let's check it out. So Paddington 2.
So you haven't watched it?
I haven't. I'm going to watch it this weekend. Yeah, I'll report back next Thursday. First movie in well over 2 years I will sit through to watch, I think. If you got 18 minutes to spare, Google up Alice's Restaurant.
I've already got that on the list.
Oh, you got it queued up? Yeah, when you're cleaning the house this morning, listen to the story of Alice and the restaurant. It's not actually called Alice's Restaurant. It's Alice owns a restaurant. And the name of the song is Alice's Restaurant, but it's not the name of the restaurant. There you go. That's your first chapter in Alice's Restaurant right there. Eat more turkey. You're just going to fall asleep and then all the problems will drift away. You can just eat more turkey. And the number one thing you can do to get away when everything gets crazy on Thanksgiving is go scrub some ball python tubs. There you go, folks. That's how you're going to get through your Thanksgiving holiday craziness. I hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving. Joe, I hope you guys can relax.
So what are you? Do you have to work tomorrow?
No,
you're just.
We're staying overnight down in Preston. We'll chill, have a family day tomorrow. Come back, we'll be bloated and tired, and probably have a couple beverages. Might be a little, nappish if I were to give an adjective, and then. Actually, we have another little get together on Saturday, and then Sunday will be chill. And then Monday, we're off to holiday season. You got the mad dash to Christmas to just, survive.
So we are flying to Michigan tomorrow. Actually.
What?
Yeah. Just early in the morning.
Yeah.
And we're going to pick up my in-laws' truck and drive it back. And we're stopping in Nashville on the way back.
Oh, pretty good. Good deal.
Because I'm buying that truck from my in-laws.
Is the Hyundai done? Did it die?
No, it's not done. So one of the things, and this is the last thing, this is why I'm telling you this. One of the things that makes me really thankful and happy is going to the dump. And filling up this truck with stuff and going to the dump. My God, there's something about it that is just I'm just so happy to slough off these things that have been in my house and get rid of it. So I would just add one more to your list. Take a trip to the dump.
Take a trip to the dump. There you go. Joe, the celestial forces are strong this morning. A massive chapter of Alice's Restaurant takes place at the local dump too.
Really?
I'm not lying to you. That's where the whole problem starts. That's where he ends up.
First thing I'm going to do.
He ends up getting arrested. Yeah, he's got some problems from his trip to the dump.
In the words of Sly and the Family Stone. I want to thank you for letting me be myself again.
Cheers, brother. All right, guys, I hope you all have a very happy Thanksgiving. Joe, travel safe. We get to hear about the road trip from Michigan to Nashville next week. We'll get back to our usual business snake-ish philosophical ramblings as usual, same place, same time. Joe, thank you, man. Who knew it? Who knew? Here we are.
Unbelievable. Have a great week, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving.